It's 2024 and we are in the middle of our third annual Brandi's Book Drive campaign. And a local author is not only making a big donation, but she's stopping by to tell us how she's making a difference. You don't want to miss it. Speaking of books, let's revisit our interview with good friend of the show, the Hip Hop Doc. He talks about his children's book and his music. We'll also remember his awesome performance with some awesome kids. That's later in the show. Plus, who wants to smoke? I can get over this amazing visit with the smoke master himself, Mr. Calvin Collier. Just look at that food, and now we're all hungry. Can't wait to check that out. But as always, if you don't love Baton Rouge, that's because you don't know Baton Rouge. And if you don't know Baton Rouge, you're about to. I'm Brandi B. Harris. This is Love 225. We are in the middle of Brandi's Book Drive campaign. As I've been saying for the third year, we are in the hopes of continuing to get tens of thousands of books donated so that all the kids in our area have brand new books to read throughout the summer. And we have so many authors right here in the 225, so what better place than to show them some love than right here on Love 225. So our next guest has a book series that's teaching life lessons through sports. And joining me today, author Murlonda Janelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first, talk to me about Playing with Angels. Why this book series?
So I have 4 nephews, and they loved iPads more than they loved books, and I wanted them to become readers like I am. So I was like, what better way than to write a book that's dedicated to them, about them.
Did you talk to them about why they weren't maybe so engaged in reading as you wanted them to be?
They thought reading was boring. They did not want to pick up the book. The time that is spent to read books, they didn't like it. They preferred iPads. But they didn't find books that had boys in them. So I wanted something with boys.
Okay, I guess I never heard of the Hardy Boys and Goosebumps, some of the fun old school books that we grew up on, right?
No.
So talk to me, when you asked them about this, did they have any particular favorites? Did they have something that they were looking for in their next read?
No, it was just Roblox. Like, that's all they wanted to do.
Like so many kids.
Yes, they had no desire to pick up a book at all.
So let's talk about it. So you create this series. So this inspiration is coming straight out of the young boys in your life, your nephews. So what happens from there?
So they had no idea I was writing a book about them. I monitored them and I watched what they were doing and things that I thought were important to them. And, you know, with social media, copying off of other people. Everybody wanted to be like somebody else. So I surprised them and I wrote a book, you know, focusing on stop copying off of other people and be yourself. And then I said, you know what, with them in them, maybe they'll read now, so.
That's a great lesson for TT to be teaching them.
Yes.
You know, you ain't got to copy nobody else. You got your own light, let it shine.
Yes.
So Carter, O'Neal, Cy, and Eddie, these are our main characters.
Yes.
And you're looking at one of them. Who is this right here on the screen?
Right now, that's Cy. That's Cy.
So Cy plays football, obviously. They each play a different sport. Talk to me about them.
Yes. Well, you know, with boys, you want something that'll get their attention. And so I had to put the sports in it to kind of like, hey, something that they wanted to see, something they wanted to read about. So I had to put the sports in there, but underlying message, what do I need you to know?
And what did you want them to know? Because I know when we talked, you talked about how the representation would be so important, not just to have a boy in a book, but a boy that was a reflection of them.
Yes. I wanted all boys, you know, other than my nephews, to see themselves. So the highlight for me is always, he looks like me. That's me. I'm Cy. I'm Eddie. And I'm like, yes, baby, you are.
And what are the features of those characters that they see in themselves?
The hair that's growing out, the glasses. I wear glasses, so I needed to have a character with glasses. I needed the mohawk. I needed the short fade. I needed all of those, the different complexions. I needed boys to see themselves.
And you've taken these books to schools and to classrooms. What's the reaction when you bring them?
That's me. I look like him. Oh, my gosh. And the girls get a little upset. But the boys are like, finally, somebody sees me. Somebody says, oh, I'm writing a book about boys. So boys love it now, and they're asking their teachers, can I read that book? Can I get that book? I want to talk to MJ. So reading is becoming cool now.
So I have a 9-year-old at home, Murlonda, and I'm always telling him that, you know, every movie or show we watch was a script, so it had to be written. So you can literally, you know, picture the movie in your mind. So when I'm reading books, often the character does not look like me. So I'm picturing myself in my mind through these descriptions that are not describing me at all. What is the effect that you think this book series is having on young men, especially young black boys?
They're learning that there is somebody out there that looks like them. They can do what they want to do, and then there's somebody that's paying attention to them and cares enough about them to write about them and take an interest in them.
And of course, we're in the 3rd year of Brandi's Book Drive. I'm going to
Yes.
take these books and make sure that they get in the hands of kids for their summer reading. What do you want kids to take out of the books when if they pick up your book and they see themselves in it? What do you want them? What's the message you want them to take from it?
Life is a journey, but somebody has rules for you, or somebody has gone through the experience, and just listen to your village and they'll have answers for you.
Okay, and for people, you got a beautiful website. What's the website for people to find your information?
It's wordsinweb.com.
And where can they buy your book?
On my website or the famous Amazon. Everything is Amazon. You know?
Come on, 2-day shipping. Well, Murlonda, thank you so much for making a donation for the book drive. I'm going to make sure that those books get in the hands of some very good kids who cannot wait to see themselves represented in it. And thank you for writing the book in general so that everybody can see themselves in their literature.
I appreciate it.
And now when you do write the book about girls, you come holler at me and make sure we got that.
Yeah.
Okay? And she got to have somebody with short hair.
Of course.
So that everybody's represented. Okay.
Yes.
Well, later in the show, we will continue revisiting with some of our favorite literary guests, including the hip hop doc. But when Love 225 returns, we want all the smoke. Smoke Bayou, that is. How tender is the meat that Calvin is cooking? Well, just wait till you see it. Plus, the hip hop doc making an impact on medicine, kids, literature, and music? You don't want to miss it. We've got all that and more right here on Love 225. We have had local influencer, Where to Go 225, Jordan Basham, stop by a couple of times. And every time when we ask her, where are some of the places that we have got to try and got to stop by, she always says this one place, Smoke Bayou. It's her absolute favorite. And now Love 225 is going to put it to the test. If y'all could smell what it smells like in this studio right now, Melvin is praise dancing over here behind the camera. Joining me today, the brains behind Smoke Bayou, the genius, the founder, the cook himself, Mr. Calvin Collier. Thank you so much for joining me.
How you doing?
First, we got to bless the spread. We got to address the spread. Tell me what we have here in front of us.
Address the spread. We got smoked brisket right here. I got my loaded potato. It got 5 meats. It's an ultimate potato. It has brisket, rib, chicken, sausage, pulled pork. And
Pause. Brisket, rib, chicken, sausage, and pulled pork.
And pulled pork.
Keep going.
And we top it with whatever toppings you would like it topped with: cheese, green onions, purple onions, jalapenos, and then we'll squirt a little barbecue sauce on the top.
What else we got over here, Calvin? We're going to get into that. But
We'll
tell
get
me what
into
else
this
we
later.
got. Okay.
But we got signature ribs, no sauce. We don't need no sauce, so that's why we call ourselves Smoke Bayou. And we got, the chicken with the sausage, and we display some of our sides. The baked beans, we put meat in our baked beans. We got the mac, and we got smoked collards.
Smoke collards.
Smoked collards.
Is that a Calvin original?
That's a Calvin original.
That's a Smoke Bayou original.
That's smoked Bayou. We also do smoked cabbage.
So talk to me, Calvin. Tell me, we're going to talk about the food in a second. How did Smoke Bayou come to exist? It's so popular. The people who know about it, they know and they are loyal and faithful and they love it. Why?
I don't know.
Well, tell them, how did this come to? How did you get into cooking? Have you always been a cook?
I always been a cook, but I was forced into cooking from when I got sick with malaria, yeah.
But talk to me. Let's play some of those videos we've got. This is you. When was this?
That was 2006.
Okay, so you've always been the guy cooking stuff.
Cooking at work, cooking all for the guys and everything, so I always been cooking.
You've always been cooking. I love to see this kind of stuff that you would just pull up with a pot and people are eating good. They feel like they're eating good. Bless you, don't have to buy lunch. Now, I really like this picture because you told me that was in Africa. Talk to me about this story.
I was in Africa 2020 when I got home during the pandemic. My health started to decline when I got back home. Went to the hospital several times. They tested me for the COVID 10 times. Kept coming back negative, and then the doctor said, the last thing we're going to check you for is malaria. Take 72 hours to get the test results back, and they sent me home. And 72 hours later, the doctor called me and said, get back here immediately. You tested positive for malaria.
And that could be fatal. So that was like a scare. It was a life-changing moment for you, was it not?
It was. While I was in the hospital, they couldn't find a medicine for me because nobody in America get malaria. So it took a while to get the medicine. They found it after 3-4 days. Then they gave it to me, and then they kept me for another 2 days just to like watch me.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole time I was in the hospital, I was just like, you know, if I make it through this, I'm not working in a plant anymore. I'm not driving a truck. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna just start cooking.
Okay, now play this next set of video, and we're gonna talk about that. This is you on Ardenwood, is it not? With your dually truck and look like just a smoker.
That's
is this
it.
the beginning of Smoke Bayou?
That's the beginning of Smoke Bayou.
And I love this huge rig right here. So talk to me. You got started. You almost died. You were inspired. You promised yourself, I'm gonna do this for real. And now it is its own thing. Malik Neighbors, LSU star, stopping by to visit. Throw your L's up. I love that. I love that for y'all. So talk to me about all the success you've had since you committed to it and you've been full steam ahead.
We get a lot of success with Coca-Cola. We're a vendor for Coca-Cola, Associated Groceries. We do LSU post-game meals, basketball, baseball, and football. Blue Cross Blue Shield. We just fed just about 2,000 people like 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
so you
like
gonna feed
so
me?
many to name. Oh, I'm feeding. I got a whole spread for y'all.
Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna save some of these sides and all of this for me. What do we have up here?
So right here we have a whole slab of real po' boy.
Okay, so the part that y'all didn't see was Calvin literally just pulled bones out of a whole slab of rib and threw it on a po' boy. And I just thought that was super impressive and fantastic. What else do we need to do to make this complete?
So we could just dress it. Dress it with all the nice toppings. You could go ahead and handle it yourself.
Okay.
You can put on there what you like.
Do I start with the lettuce?
Start with the lettuce.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the lettuce. Y'all can't smell it, but it smells so good up in here. What else should I put? Tell me what else I put.
So you could go with some pickles.
Some pickles, okay. You know, I always wanted to make sandwiches like this. Okay, what else?
We can hit some onions.
Okay. And if you don't like onions, that's too bad, because onions are delicious, especially on a sandwich.
And tomatoes.
And tomatoes.
You probably have to come work at the shop for a while. You're dressing it up too good.
I'm doing too good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and what else?
Now you get the barbecue sauce.
Okay.
And you can squirt some sauce on it.
That's good?
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. Do you see my smile? Do you see my face?
Put that
I'm so
top
excited.
on there. And there you go.
Ooh, woo! I feel like Fred Flintstone. I want to just yabba dabba do and take a big bite of this big, huge sandwich. Calvin, if you had a message for people about why, if they haven't visited Smoke Bayou, why should they?
Hospitality. We love everyone that comes support our dream. And, you know, this is our home, so it's family. Everybody is family who crossed the threshold at Smoke Bayou.
I'm not gonna put Lit on the spot right quick, but she here. His daughter is here. She helped to put this whole spread together this morning, and I appreciate them. At Smoke Bayou, that's the logo, that's the address, 4355 Inniswald. And you see that Instagram handle right there, at Smoke Bayou. Y'all go give Calvin a follow. Go show him some love. We're gonna show this food some love. Look, Melvin over here nodding his head aggressively. And with that, we'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Hip Hop Doc.
Yes, our next guest is called the Hip Hop Doc for a reason. Dr. Rani Whitfield practices medicine and rhymes. He's got a new children's book that promotes positive behavior and family connections, and he is here in the studio joining me for Love 225, the Hip Hop Doc, Dr. Rani Whitfield. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Brandi, this is a blessing. My Southern University grad is
yes,
so awesome
come on.
to be here. Yes, yes.
Come on, Jaguar Nation.
Right,
we absolutely love that. So first, I've heard so much about you.
Yeah.
You have a reputation that certainly precedes you. How did you get the moniker Hip Hop Doc?
For over 20 decades, I've used music and medicine to attempt to educate kids on health issues. And so from talking about heart disease and stroke, and you say, well, that's a young group to be talking to, but you have to start the messaging early so we can prevent these things from happening. Was blessed with a very beautiful son who's now 5 years old. and started to write a book about our experiences. Now, I didn't write the book overnight. It took a little while to write it. But again, it all started from me reaching out to the community, talking about health messages. In one of my rhymes, I say I go from schools, churches, hospitals, prisons. There's not a place in the world that I won't go to try to deliver health messages, because many of our people, especially in the African-American community, are dying from preventable and treatable diseases.
So did you see a connection between hip-hop music and being able to help spread the message of preventative health care?
Without a doubt. So I've been blessed to have some celebrity clients that have introduced me to other celebrity clients. And I haven't gotten that dream and aspiration where it was I was going to be with Jay-Z on stage and he's going to stop the show and have me come out and
if you're
talk
listening,
about,
Rock Nation, if y'all listening, okay.
Yeah, stop smoking. There's Dr. Whitfield coming out of Little Smith. So it hadn't quite happened that way, but I've been blessed to work with Big Frida, D1. So, you know, some things have happened and I've gotten some messaging out there, but having my son has kind of changed my life. I'll be 55 in a couple weeks.
Oh, you ain't got to age yourself like that now, Doc.
It is what it is. I'm proud of it. I mean, I made it, the knees still feeling pretty good, but I wanted to do something as a legacy piece for him, and now it's turned into an opportunity to educate kids about reading, which is very, very important.
And so you came up with this idea by being a dad, having a cool kid. What was RJ's response to having something about him and about promoting positive behavior? I'm sure stuff that y'all practice in your house every day.
Yeah, it's what we do. And so the video or the concept came from him actually bringing the garbage can in, and he was 2 years old. His mom was like, don't let my son do it. I was like, I got this. He gets the garbage can up and says, I did it, I did it. It's like, wow. So these things that he accomplishes as he does them, I try to encourage and reinforce positive behaviors, and so they tend to work. And Brent, look, there's a huge problem in our country. 32 million adults cannot read. And we know that illiteracy or being illiterate is associated with poverty, poor health outcomes, incarceration. And so it's very important that we read to our children. I'm a hardworking parent, a very privileged and blessed parent as well. But I work hard and I get home late sometimes, but I always find time to read to my son.
Yeah, they say statistically speaking, 20 minutes a day of reading with your kids can have a huge impact on their reading outcomes. And Brandi's book drive obviously is a huge proponent of pushing books and making sure that kids have books in their homes that they can read and reference all the time. So tell me this, Doc. What's next for the hip hop doc? If Rock Nation don't call, and I'm sure, I bet after this they're gonna call. Beyonce's gonna see this and be like, listen, Act 3, we're working on it.
I like that.
The hip hop doc has that. So tell me, are you gonna perform for us?
You mean today?
Yes.
Not only can I perform for you, but I brought some friends with me, and I can't do it without the Southern Lab crew and my son RJ. They in the building. Can y'all give it up? Let's go. Y'all give it up for them.
Yay! We are so excited, Dr. Whitfield. I cannot wait for the performance. Cannot wait for the release of RJ Did It. Thank you so much, Dr. Whitfield, for joining us. And I can't wait for this performance of RJ Did It. And with that, we'll be right back. Now, you know we have a love for music here in the Love 225 studio with RJ himself and some special helpers from Southern Lab. Here's the hip hop doc performing RJ Did It.
He wakes up and brushes his teeth by himself. He does it on his own, that's without my help. He put on his shirt, pants, and shoes and belt, and the smile on his face just makes my heart melt. See, every day we go through the morning checklist. He makes sure he has time for morning breakfast. And some days he can make a big old mess, but he makes sure he cleans it up before he exits. Headed to school, that's his favorite part, to learn numbers and letters, to play and art. If you wanna be sharp, this the place to start, where your teachers can help you be great and smart. Yeah, after school with the day he's had, he loves to play ball and hang with his sister. Sometimes they fuss and fight, but he knows he miss her. Before it's lights out, he like to hug and kiss her. I will help my mom out, cause RJ did it. I will brush my teeth, cause RJ did it. I will help clean up, cause RJ did it. I will go to sleep, cause RJ did it. I will help my dad out, cause RJ did it. I will do my homework, cause RJ did it. I will take the trash out, cause RJ did it. I will exercise, cause RJ did it. You can do anything you put your mind to, young people. The only person who can stop you is you. So if RJ can do it, you can do it too. Cause RJ did it. Cause RJ.
Thank y'all so much for this new episode of Love 225. Thank y'all so much for joining
Good job,
us.
y'all.
Thank you, RJ, for sharing your dad and your story with us, and these wonderful students from Southern Lab and their principal. Shout out to all y'all. Until next time on Love 225. Bye.
225, Love 225. Yay.
Bye. Yay. yes, we've got something special here in South Louisiana, including a very special Brandi's Book Drive. Yes, for the third year, we are collecting books for the kids to read over this summer, and we need your help. Pull out your phone right now and scan that QR code. You can make a financial donation or visit any Essential Credit Union location in the capital area. Drop off those newer, gently used K through 8th grade books. And as always, go like, follow, and share the Love 225 show on social media, because there's so much more we want to share with you. Until next time, Love 225.